every single week here, we talk to head coach Beth Torina, head coach of your LSU softball Tigers, and the Tigers are hot. Moving into the top 5 in basically every major college softball poll. 13-0 on the year after an undefeated Tiger Classic. Took down Boise in exciting fashion last Thursday, then kicked in the dominance 8-5 on Friday, 10-3 Houston on on Friday night. Saturday morning, 5-0, 11-0 against Austin Peay. And now returning to action tomorrow against Illinois, and right before the final weekend for conference play kicks up. Coach, what's going on? How we feeling? Feeling pretty damn good right now.
Lucky 13. That's the number today. So we're going with it.
Yeah. So give me your biggest takeaway now that we're 1 week away from conference play, right? What is the main area? And it's weird, right? Because you have to almost grasp at things at this point because your team has played so well. But what do you feel as a team, your main area improvement you want to see is to get you ready for what will be a brutal SEC gauntlet?
I think we're in a good spot, honestly. I know that never comes out of my mouth, but that doesn't mean we don't have things to do better. But I think if we could just continue to build on some of the things we're already doing well, like just continue to increase it. Like our swing decisions at the plate, like that's swinging at strikes, right? Seems simple, but it's really hard concept when you're facing good pitching. So we have some really good numbers there in our swing decisions. So keeping to make that a priority and increasing that, I think would be awesome. I think that's a big reason for the success of the offense here, that Howard and Bryce and Sandra have worked so hard on every day on just making sure that they're swinging at the right pitches. I think if we continue to do that, our offense is going to be really hard to beat.
Coach, what's the biggest challenge in playing 6 games in 3 days like you have coming up here in the Purple and Gold Challenge?
It is a challenge. I've been thinking about it all week and trying to be really careful with them at practice, making sure that we're healthy and rested and, trying to make sure they're full go. Because it's going to be a challenge. 6 games across 3 days is going to be tough, and I thought we were a little tired last Saturday, too. I called upon them to be a little tougher on Saturday, and we got that huge performance out of Ray Chafin, who is definitely one of our toughest players, one of our most competitive players, and just went out and showed us what toughness looks like. So it's going to take some toughness to get through all 6 games. I keep asking, who wrote this schedule, and then I look in the mirror. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, hoisted on my own petard, if you will. Coach, Allie Newland was named SEC Co-Player of the Week. Kind of insane that in a year where there's been already so much individual success, she's the first one to achieve that award. I mean, she was absolutely dominant last weekend. What was it? 10 hits, 8 ribbies, 2 home runs. She was incredible. Speak on, because I know so much of this team is defined by the leadership, and I feel like Newland is someone that we generally don't talk about all the time in this setting.
Well, you should, because she's awesome. She's just kind of I think she's ended up in her career as kind of like the jack of all trades, so maybe hasn't had some of the opportunities to be up for as many awards because she's been playing 800 different positions, right?
Yeah.
But she's always been willing to do anything it takes for this team. She is hands down one of our leaders. She's so smart and intelligent. She's getting community service awards every time you turn around. She's just a good human. It's easy to pull for her. So, and the second home run she hit for my youngest daughter, so that was important. We were playing her favorite song. She walked by and I said, "Hit this one for Tenley Grace," and I'll be feeling that thing went out of the park. So,
maybe you can let her play a single position now, Coach. Sheesh. No, I'm just kidding.
She has been this year. She has been. So, and that's why we're seeing such great things. We are definitely better when she's in left field because she's so talented out there.
And also better when you have a healthy Taylor Pleasance. I mean, that's something we talked about a ton last year, and obviously dealt with some injuries and trying to get her on the field. And even when she was, you could tell she was gritting through it and maybe not fully healthy. What does it mean to have her out there healthy, back, leading the charge?
Yeah, I think she is really the best of the best. I actually got a voicemail from our favorite Skip Bertman here yesterday that said, "I think Taylor Pleasance is the best softball player I've ever seen."
Okay, wow.
That's high praise there.
Skip, dude.
And I thought, well, if the GOAT thinks that, then
Yeah.
I'm not crazy to think that myself. She's just so special in so many ways, and just she's grown as a leader on top of how talented she is. So I think any coach would kill to have a Taylor Pleasance on their team. She's so special.
So that's a lot from the offensive perspective, Coach. But of course, we know your expertise lies on the mound. And what's your view of your team thus far? I mean, 7 shutouts on the year. It appears like you have great depth this year. How excited are you from what your staff has shown you thus far?
Well, we have a new position, at LSU softball. We have an analytics player development guy, right? His name's
Wow.
Zach. He has a PhD in math, and he tells me that if we don't give up any runs, we're likely to win. So that was his stat. He came to me. I was like, "Thank you so much, Zach. Really appreciate it." I think he actually got that line from Beth Torina, but I think they're doing a great job. And I thought last weekend was such a step in the right direction of showing the depth of our pitching staff. Everybody knows what Sid Burzon can do. She's one of the best in the country right now. But seeing Ray Chafin go out and give a great performance, Emily Casanova has thrown 2 shutouts. I mean, I think we've seen the depth that we needed to see from them, which was really, really important last weekend.
And Coach, I mean, we've done this for years now, and you would have one dominant pitcher, and then that's good. And you've had some of the best to do it in the SEC. But over the last couple of years, it does feel like you're more of a, hey, I want to have multiple arms ready to go, and that's exactly what this team is. I mean, even Kelly Lynch has appeared in 6 games and pitched a little bit there. So I mean, you have 5 pitchers that have shown up on the mound already. Do you prefer it that way, or do you prefer to maybe have one arm and then some secondary arms on the side?
Well, Kelly Lynch was out last weekend, so we'll be happy to get a healthy Kelly Lynch here. But moving forward. But I think, I'm talking about our data guy, right? And all of the things, the way our game's changing and the numbers and the analytics. I'm joking about his number that he gave me, but he gives us some of the most incredible numbers you could ever imagine. And as our game continues to evolve and develop, it's going to take more than one arm. Everybody sees everything we do. They know our tendencies. They know what pitches you're going to throw and what counts and how often they're in the zone and how often they're called balls. And I think as that continues to develop, you're going to need more and more arms to get through a 3-game series.
Coach, this is more of a big picture question, but it's on the mind because the NFLPA released a survey, right, of all the NFL players talking about their organization, and they would rank all sorts of things, and coaching was one of them. And I'm just wondering, you just hit 500 wins here at LSU. You've been the LSU coach during one of the most transformative times just in human history. And I guess where I'm going with all this is, have you had to adjust your coaching style through the years, right? How do you approach players now differently than you would approach players when you first started out?
Every day. I think every day. And if you're not growing and changing, then you're going to be left behind. And if you're too prideful to do that, then I think you're not going to be very successful. I never want to be called old school. I think that means you're tough, right? But which is cool. But I don't want to be old school. I want to be new school, no matter how old I get and how long I'm doing this. Some of that's come from the positions that we've added. Howard and I are kind of the oldies on the staff, but we have a bunch of young people on this staff. Sandra and Zach, especially the addition of Bryce Neal this year and all of his ideas. And concepts, we're doing a lot of things different and better, in my opinion. And I think if we're not willing to do that and evolve, then I think we're going to be left behind. So it's cool that I think, Howard also is operated with no ego, and we're just open to hearing the best practices and putting them in place for our team. And I think that's crucial.
Coach, before we let you go, obviously you do have 6 games in 3 days. Any kind of preview on the teams that you're going to be playing this weekend?
Man, they're all tough. I know it's too early for RPI, but some of the early season RPIs puts this tournament at an average of 40, I want to say, of our opponents. We have a 36, a 38, and a 42, I want to say. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Last time we saw San Diego State was, out there in the 22 regional. Yeah. So, they're always a postseason team, always right on the cusp of being in the top 25. McNeese has played well lately. They're always tough. Louisiana Tech, always a good game. So, and then Illinois brings back Tyra Perry, who is a awesome former Tiger. She's the head coach at Illinois, one of the first signees of the LSU softball program, so she always does a great job. So it's not just 6 games. It's 6 games that are going to really affect our season and really help us moving forward. So it's a tough weekend, and we're excited about the opportunity.
So best of luck this weekend, Coach. If you want to get out to Tiger Park, Illinois tomorrow at 4, then at 6:30, San Diego State. Saturday at 5 p.m., you got San Diego State. Then at 7:30, McNeese. And then Sunday, 3 p.m., you got McNeese. And at 5:30, La Tech. So a full weekend in Tiger Park. Get the fam out there. Go have yourself a time. Support this top 5 team in the country. Coach Torina, can't thank you enough for making time for us every single week. I know you're very busy. Thank you.
Thank you. If you like softball, just stop by because apparently it's going to be being played at all hours of the day.
Yeah, sure. I didn't even need to give times, actually.
Just come on by. We're playing ball.
7-Eleven, always open over there at Tiger Park over the next 3 days. So go check it out. Thank you, Coach.